Hi, my name is Catherine, and I have such an important message for you today that you absolutely need to stick with me in this video. Do not click away, because this message, someone that you love needs it. You can make a difference in their lives. And here's the message for today. There's a tragedy going on. It is tragic today. There are 3 or 4 people in your life right now, in your circle, friends, colleagues, employees, family, who are actively grieving the loss of someone that they love. And they're likely doing it on their own because that's the way we were trained. So they're feeling isolated, lost, and fearful of what's going to happen. But the whole time they're walking around pretending that they're fine. Because that's what we do when people ask us how we are. We're fine. But the reality is we are not fine. Grief is hard. Grief will take over your life. And the thoughts that go on in our heads and the feelings that are so intense, and that the pain is so intense that we feel like it may take us over. And there's likely times when they're thinking to themselves, does it even make sense to keep going in this life myself? People who are grieving have these thoughts, and they need your help. Gone are the days of grieving alone and trying to just buck it up and wait for things to be over. What you can do for them is encourage them to hire a grief coach like me. Honestly, it's the best thing that you can do for them. It's a way to show that you care and to make a difference in their life. All you need to do is tell them to go to griefinspired.com and talk to Catherine. I will do the rest. But you can support them and encourage them to get help. So let me explain to you quickly what a grief coach is so that you can communicate this to other people. A grief coach is someone who walks with a grieving person through the entire grief process. You don't have to grieve alone. No one should grieve alone. A grief coach gives hope and reminds us all that grief is temporary, that the grief, when resolved and when acted upon, that healing is possible and that we can find a new, different type of happiness. A grief coach is someone who is there to hear conversations, the hard conversations, the things that need to be said, the things that people do not feel comfortable sharing with their immediate family, with their immediate friends. But they have to be said, because the only way to get over grief is to let that grief come out. And there's no judgment there. A grief coach is a third party. There's no need for judgment. People often ask me if they're going crazy. How do I know if I'm going crazy? Because the grief process makes you feel like you're going crazy. And the reality is that none of us are going crazy. I once had a therapist say, if you think you're going crazy, you're not going crazy. But there needs to be somebody there to explain the process and to say, this is what's coming. This is what you should expect. And when that happens, that's okay, because it's part of the process. You are going to get through it. And finally, and maybe most importantly, a grief coach is a lifeline when you need one. There will be days, dark, dark days, when the people you love who are grieving don't know who to turn to. And they likely will be sitting on their couch, mindlessly watching some TV show, looking at their phone, wondering who to call because the pain is so overwhelming. And they don't want to call you. because they don't want to put it on you. A grief coach is that lifeline, is that resource who can support them through the whole process. I want to encourage you to share this message out. Encourage the people around you, the people you know who are hurting, that getting support is okay. That getting support is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And that we all deserve support during the times of our grief. And never forget, we will all grieve. Death is just as much a part of life as the birth of a new baby is. It's going to happen to all of us. So again, together, let's share this out. Let's let people know that support is okay. And you can make a difference, a real difference in someone else's life. Because in the end of the day, that's why we're all here, is to connect and to help and to show others that we care. So please encourage them to go to griefinspired.com, ask them to sign up for a free consultation and see if it's a fit. I would love to walk anyone who needs it through the grief process, because I've been through it and I've come out on the other side. I've found joy and happiness and fulfillment again. And when I was deep in my grief, I didn't know it was possible, but it is. So please make a difference. Please share this out and let people around you know that there is a place to go when you're grieving.